Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Healing Narcissistic Trauma Conference. So excited to have you here, and this topic today is a doozy. I am your host, Denise Dominguez, a women's empowerment coach specializing in helping women heal post-narcissistic relationships. And today I have the amazing Dr. Lisa Cooney with me.
Hello.
Yay! So excited to have you here, Dr. Lisa. Dr. Lisa is a catalyst for change, dedicated to assisting others to become aware of their true power, strength, courage, and identify their genuine purpose to thrive. She travels the globe, facilitating thousands of people to uncover and discover a lighter, more expansive version of themselves. For more fun, play, joy, and ease, her sessions are a safe place to explore one's past and learn the tools for a healthier future. Hello, and so glad to have you here today, Dr. Lisa. So excited to talk about this topic.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Hello to everybody that's listening. I hope this will be a contribution to you. And how much fun can we have talking about a really kind of yucky subject?
But awareness is so key for the listeners to be here in this moment right now, to hear you and your message of the 11 warning signs of gaslighting.
Woohoo! It's kind of like, here, the milk is bad, smell it.
But it's so important because I know that, myself and many, many others don't know what's happening. We just know something's not right, but we don't know exactly. So this is the clarity that they need, and you're going to deliver it today.
Yes. How does it get any better? Thank you.
How does it?
Thank you for the possibility. Thank you for putting this together, and let's do this. So where shall we start?
11 warning signs of gaslighting. So let's start with that, like an introductory. What is gaslighting? Because we hear it all over. People have been mentioning the movie, and you drew me in when you were doing the Facebook Live on the beach, and it's a topic that even if you haven't experienced it, you want to know about it. So what is it?
Well, there's a couple of ways that you can look at gaslighting, and I'll get into that. And I want to break it down very, very simply for me, and because I had to break it down pretty simply, which is gaslighting locks you out of being, and like being, existing. And gaslighting takes away your choice. And yes, usually it's a person or an entity outside of you where you experience yourself being gaslighted, where when I'm gaslighted, the way that I feel is like a dog watching TV. I'm kind of like, huh? And the brilliance that I sometimes am, sometimes I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but the brilliance that I be, just in my daily life just completely goes away. And I'm literally like, file not found, file not found, file not found. Like I have no words. I just feel this heaviness in my gut. And I kind of feel almost like I got hit in the head, where I'm not even sure how to respond. So that's my sensorial experience of when I'm being gaslighted. But particularly for someone that's never heard this term before or has heard it so much in the last couple of months, I've simplified it to say, when you're being locked out of being, essentially, forced through an external object out of being, lock you out of being, you don't exist, and that person or entity has so much power over you by the way that they manipulate and say what they're saying. They know how to get you. They have the power. They have the power, literally, to take away, if you will, your brilliance. But is it really gone away? No, it's just anesthetized in the shock of, how do you respond to something like that? Because you're the type of person that would probably never say that to another person or be that with another person. So just to recap, gaslighting is when someone has power over you. That power over you locks you out of being. That power over you takes away your choice. And your body is infiltrated energetically. Your space is violated energetically. And your consciousness is anesthetized, numb. And that's where the file not found, deer in the headlights, dog watching TV feeling comes. And you're like, I can't even respond.
Yeah. And that's so essential to know, because like I said in the beginning, for those of you listening that don't know what exactly it is, but like you said, deer in the headlights, I know something's not connecting, because this is not normal, or this is not right. I remember that was the feeling I had, but I couldn't put my finger on. I didn't know exactly what it was. Didn't know it was abuse. Didn't know it was gaslighting.
Gaslighting is a form of abuse.
Right.
You know, and it's been going on. It's been going on time immemorial. So for instance, you know, okay, you think about sexual abuse. Well, the person, unless it's, you know, a rape situation, you know, that occurs, you know, randomly, which isn't kind of random. It's already somewhat premeditated. Generally, you know, gaslighting, you have to groom the person to trust you. That's a form of gaslighting. A child to an adult that's been abused, or, you know, you're at a college party and somebody's interested in you, boy to girl, girl to girl, boy to boy, whatever it is, girl to boy, and you get them to trust you. They're having fun, and then you realize you're having fun with them, and they realize later on that maybe they put something in your drink, but they got you to trust them, to open up to them, to lower your guard in a certain way, because you're thinking they're just interested in you, and they're actually interested in something else. So there's a grooming that goes on, and that's part of the gaslighting. Mm-hmm. And it happens over time. It's not just in, you know, 10 seconds or in a minute. A lot of times people are stalking you, you know, to get you out of that choice, out of being, and to get what they want, which is seeing you as an object, and them, you know, with all the power to give it to them.
Yeah. And that's why, in my experience and with the women that I talk to, it's in the relationships, right? Because like you said, there's the grooming process, there's the getting to know what buttons to push, right? To where I know how to piss you off, Lisa, or how to hurt you. So there's the power. So what are, you know, we were talking about 11 signs. What are some of the signs that somebody could know that they're being gaslit?
Well, I'm going to get into that, but I want to touch back into the relationship piece first.
Sure.
I was going to go before, so thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Gaslighting has been happening in and occurring in marriages, again, time immemorial, all the time. And it's like, I work with a lot of people that, a lot of women actually, because 85% of my practice and business is women, that come in, they're like, well, I don't have any say in the finances, and I don't have any say in what we invest in, and I don't have any say in how I spend my money. Some women even come to me and say, I took care of the kids, the husband went to work, that was our marital contract, none of that money is mine. And I'm thinking, half of that money is yours. Mm-hmm. They're not thinking that. So whatever the dynamic is that got set up, it gets set up that one is above and one is below, but there's never a co-creationship or a creationship. And in marriages and in relationship, when one person is always right and one person is always wrong, note to self, the gaslighter, the narcissist is always right, the other is always wrong, then that's what's been going on in the power imbalance and the power dynamic in your relationship. They're right, I'm wrong, and that's how they get you to always doubt yourself, which means that they take away your choice. When your choice is taken away, which is the deer in headlights, the shock, the dog watching TV, the doubting of yourself, like you were saying, in the relationship, that lets you know, this is getting into the signs, that something is going on where your power is being thwarted, your choice is being taken away, and your existence is being nullified. Those are 3 telltale signs that you're being gaslighted, just in general. And I say sensorially, when you feel heavy and depressed and can't make a decision and don't know which way to turn, including even what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear, you are likely somehow being gaslighted in your personal being. So that's one thing. Psychology Today has a great article called 11 Warning Signs of Gaslighting, and I'll just list them here to go into that. But I like to also give like personal experiences and personal examples, because this stuff with abuse is insidious. It's cunning and it's baffling and insidious. And narcissists and gaslighters, they are so good, like you mentioned, Denise. They're the experts at saying the very thing, the hot button thing that will get you on the defensive so that they have control. But the gaslighters are excellent at getting you on the defensive so they're in control. One, they tell blatant lies. Blatant lies. How do you know when someone's lying? You feel it in your gut. Something's wrong here. 2, they deny they ever said something even though you have proof. You will show it to them and they will say, I never said that. The really sick joke about the whole thing is that they actually can really convince themselves that they never said it. That's the psychopathology in the narcissist. 3, they use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. They take what your weakest spots are, your hurtful points, the things you feel the worst about yourself, and they use that to twist you to feel even worse about yourself, so that, again, they are right and you are wrong. They wear you down over time, number 4. Wear you down, that you actually just believe them. It has to be about you. Their actions do not match their words. You know, people show you who they are by what they do, not what they say. Number 6, they throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. So just when you're getting close to having some power and getting them to own something, they'll switch it up, throw in some positive reinforcement, and you'll be like, oh, they're not so bad anyway. And they'll take you totally off the mark. They know confusion weakens people, so they say things to confuse you. They always project. Project is pointing the finger. Number 9, they will talk to other people and align them against you. This is a very, very effective tool. So
flying monkeys, is that what you're talking about for number 9?
Say again?
Flying monkeys, is that what you're talking about for number 9?
Yeah. It's like they'll say something like, oh, I talked to your friend and this person, or I talked to this person, they know you're useless too. They know you're not, they're not good, or you're not good. And they'll just, get you sideways, like, oh my God, they're talking about me, and that person actually thinks that way about me. And so then it confuses you, it weakens you, and it gives them more power. And then they also, they get you to question your sanity. Like, oh, you're leaving things around. Oh, you forgot your keys again. Or just simple things that make you doubt yourself and think that you're insane and that what you're aware of is wrong. And they basically, if you say, oh, even your mother told me X or Y or Z, they'll say, oh, well, she's a liar. So everything is a deflection. Everything is a dismissal. Everything is you're wrong and I'm right. Everything basically keeps them in their throne of illusion, but it's this narcissistic, sociopathic, energetic lie that they are living by. And as they're living by that, you're kind of living with it too, and you don't even know how you got here. You're just here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is. And so I want to bring up, the doubt is a huge thing. I know that, I mean, we all question ourselves at some point, right? Did I do laundry? I don't remember. I left the house. Did I shut off the light? You know, we always do have little doubts about ourselves. But when it's this blatant and continuous in a relationship, and like you said, Lisa, about, you did X, Y, and Z, and here, there's the doubt. And it's, a relationship is supposed to be a team. You're supposed to be together. And the way you're describing this gaslighting, this relationship is one pinning, the other against each other. I think the flying monkeys also is a huge topic also to talk about, because they do, I call it team narcissist, right? Like, I'm team, and they manipulate those people as well to be on their team, to kind of like solidify what it is that they're trying to do to the partner in the relationship. I know that when I first got into all of the terminology of this type of abuse, there was all these, flying monkeys was one of them, all these terms. And I was like, that's what I went through. I didn't know that this is, hoovering and love bombing and gaslighting and flying monkeys, all of these terms, and so that's what I want the audience to know. Like, what you do think is not normal or not right, or you have that gut feeling, like you said, follow that. Get in touch with somebody, or continue to listen to interviews like this, because you're right. There is something wrong.
Reach out, ask the questions. Like in the airport, we hear the thing all the time. If you see something, say something. If you sense something, reach out and speak about it, and claim, own, and acknowledge what you know. Mm-hmm. I do a whole class that I facilitate all over the world in many different countries, called Embrace Your Roar, ROAR, like a lion. Just about embracing, examining, embodying, and expanding into your own reality. Because so many of us that have been abused or been in relationship with a narcissist, and so many of us as women have been historically gaslighted without even knowing it. You don't have to have physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, sexual abuse to have been gaslighted in this reality. You're a lot of times gaslighted by being a woman who makes, 70 something cents on the dollar to every $1 for a man. You're already in that dismissive, disempowered position just by simply being female. Now, I might not necessarily agree with that just as a being. However, I live in a society, in a reality that doesn't just exist of me. And so there's a lot more people other than myself that actually still believe in that reality, although so much more is changing. And that's why you said marriages should be a creationship, a collaboration. Well, never until, this last decade, if that, have the words creationship or conscious coupling or conscious uncoupling ever been discussed. We know what we should because we're intelligent, but none of that has actually been created. I see, maybe not none, I see more inklings of it now where relationships are actually seen as a co-creationship. But to this day, I still get couples that come into my office and they've been married for 20 years, let's say, and they haven't redone their vows or redone their goals and targets from 20 years ago when they got married. And I always ask them, the first thing I ask is, have you changed since 20 years? And they're all like, absolutely. Doesn't matter if you're male to female marriage or male to male or female to female, it's always the same. I'm like, in my world, you come into my office and you're going to do couples creationship. You're going to get together every, 6 months to a year and reignite your targets collectively, collaboratively, and then individually. But you have that contributive creation together and be like, yeah, I want to see you succeed. How can I contribute? And I want to see you succeed, even if it means going to an oil rig in, Alaska somewhere. If that's your dream, all right, you can have it. I'm going to stay here where it's cozy and do something else. Great. But unfortunately, when people change dynamics and they assert their power, then the one that's in charge, if they happen to be in charge and be the gaslighter and the narcissist, more often than not, that occurs these days, then that person then starts to diminish, disempower, confuse, lie, help you question your insanity. And that's what I mean by taking you out of being, locking you out of being, taking away your choice, and having power over. It's like, no, you're not allowed to assert what you want. Well, who says and why? And what makes that wrong? Nothing makes that wrong. But everywhere we have learned as women to assert what we desire, and in that assertion is a wrongness, that's where this topic comes in handy. So if you feel something, say something, go and talk to someone, and get yourself empowered to choose the actions that will create the creationship you desire. It may not be in the relationship you're currently in, or in the job you're currently in, or in the relationship with yourself you're currently in. Change is good, and eliminating the power over, the locking yourself out of being, the not choosing for yourself and committing to yourself, anything to eliminate that is the goal of empowered living.
I love that, Lisa. And something that you said that I want to bring to everybody's attention, and in what you just said, was that this manipulation, and we could be talking about any of the topics that we had covered, but specifically with the gaslighting, how subtle they do this, the subtle shifts, and this is how I call it how they hook us in, right? So they start off so charming and charismatic, and we love that about this person, and there's the hook, and then there's these subtle shifts of, like you were describing, the grooming, right? That's the subtle shifts of getting you, the victim, I hate using that word, but in this scenario, to feel that, like you said, small and pressed down and doubting yourself. And so when you do feel like, everything started off so great, and I'm sure you get this all the time with your clients, everything was so great in the beginning, and it was great for X amount of time. Sometimes it's right when they get married and things shift, whatever. But there's this period of time where things were so great, and then she's like, I don't understand. So even those subtle shifts that are almost unnoticeable is something to pay attention to.
Oh, it's absolutely something to pay attention to, because the person that's doing it isn't actually, some are aware, but some of even the behaviors of the gaslighter or the narcissist, they're so far gone from even themselves that they don't even know that they're doing it. And they're not willing to do some introspection to figure out what they're doing.
Which would be why when you bring it up to them, they deny it, because like you said, they don't even know they're doing it. So then you're the liar. Right.
But here's the thing to remember, empowering you to know that one, you didn't cause it, you didn't create it, and you can't control it. Okay? You didn't cause it, you didn't create it, you can't control it. Somebody that is a narcissist and that is a gaslighter, that's on them. Whatever it is, we could spend decades, and many of us have in relationship, focusing on the other person and figuring out why they did whatever to make sense of why they did it to us when they said they loved us. Well, you know what? There's no explaining insanity. Just like there's no explanation to abuse.
Right.
It just is or was.
Right.
Okay. The only thing you can do is like, I didn't cause it. I didn't create it. I can't control it. Okay. What can I control? Me. Okay. How do I control me? By my choice. What choice can I make today to act and engage in the reality I would like to create? And when you say, what choice can I engage in today and act with today to create the life that I'd like to create, then you're actually not unlocking yourself out of being. You're being you in the universe. And then the universe says, oh, she's committed to herself. She's making a choice. And just by asking a question, what choice can I make to act and engage with my reality that I can change right away? And by doing so, then the universe will collaborate with you. And then that person, situation, entity, or event, or whatever it is, starts going a little bit off to the side. You don't make it as meaningful anymore. And then you start to peel away the blinders to how you actually locked yourself out of being, how you actually stopped choosing, and how you actually started gaslighting yourself. Because that's the other cruel joke about gaslighting is it's easy to get on the bandwagon about what everybody else is doing or that other person in your life is doing. But you can only do that for so long. You know, it's like, I know so many people that their husband's dead, 12 years or something like that, and they're still calling them the same names, the same situations, the same resentments as they did when they were alive. And I'll say, okay, when is enough? I don't say it like that, but it's like, that's when they start gaslighting themselves, playing that tape when the person's not there over and over and over and over and over again. And playing that tape over and over and over again distracts you from being you, distracts you from choosing to you, distracts you from committing to your life and committing to you, distracts you from collaborating with the universe, conspiring to bless you, and distracts you from creating. And then if you're distracted from those four things, choosing, committing, collaborating, creating, you're locked out of being again. So now you've become the perpetrator, gaslighting you. You've become your own eternal jailer. You've become your own narcissist. You've become your own gaslighter. And now you want to jump off the balcony, right? Which is what you wanted to do with that person who's no longer in your life. You see, that's the double-edged sword of it, is that the first step is about acknowledging you might be being gaslighted. And the second step is then to acknowledge what you can choose to change that. The third step is to, while you're acknowledging what you're choosing to change it, that with that other person, by knowing that you didn't cause it, control it, or it's not your fault, essentially, then you get to focus on you and see where it's implanted in you cellularly that you get to undo. And then you undo that and you're left just with you being you, which is the gift.
Absolutely.
And you are a gift. No matter what anybody has done to you, or how many times you've been gaslighted, or how long you've been in the marriage, or how long you haven't chosen for yourself, I promise you that the being you are can never be broken. Who you are divinely, uniquely, brilliantly, and infinitely is still inside your cellular memory. You're still that. It's just underneath the costume of the external gaslighter, then the internal gaslighter you became, and that double-edged sword of that cunning, baffling, and insidious abuse that is so freaking prevalent in this reality. And that's why I go around the world as much as possible and facilitate workshops or do these summits or interviews to get this information, or my radio show or podcast, to get this information across, because it took me time and listening to it over and over and over and over again to hear it. I even did 2 gaslighting teleseries, not only to get this information across, but because so that I could become familiar with how it was still embedded in my lifestyle in ways that I had no idea. And I'll tell you what, it was intense. And we did some intense work on those telecalls, but I am so grateful to it because I can spot it in a heartbeat right now. And I get better at facilitating my clients and people like yourselves in listening to it. If it doesn't feel good, I gotta tell you, I've broken it down for this. If it doesn't feel good with someone, I'm telling you, somehow they're gaslighting you. And they could be the kindest, most nurturing person, and maybe not even a narcissist, classically. But if it doesn't feel good, there's some sort of gaslighting going on. And there are some people that you could bring that up to, and there are some people that no matter how you bring it up, you're going to get those 11 signs that I mentioned before.
Yeah, so powerful, Lisa. Such a powerful message there. And we could literally talk about this forever, because as you're talking, I'm like, ooh, yes, this. Sure. But unfortunately, we can't. today. But I do know that you have a gift for the audience that's listening. So what do you have for them that they are going to be super excited about?
Well, I did a call on my Voice America radio show, which is an introduction to what gaslighting is, and hearing it in a different way with some energetic clearing statements and in a different format, I thought would be a great follow-up from what we're talking to here. Because there's some people that, call up into the radio show and some live examples, or they've either asked me questions and real life examples, and then I go through them on the radio show. And so I thought that would be a lovely follow-up, to easy link to click on and listen while you're driving or in the comforts of your own home.
Perfect.
So, introduction to gaslighting.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have any final message for the listeners, or maybe a mantra you want to leave them with, Dr. Lisa?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking me that, Denise. The being you are can never be broken, no matter how dull things look now. Maybe it's just a pruning season. It's time to prune your roses, prune your flowers, and allow a new garden to grow, a new flower to blossom, or a new branch to, take root. And it's never too late. Now is the time, and you can begin. If you're being gaslighted, my suggestion would be to go have hands that reach out to you, like this summit, and go and speak and just get some outside objective information where you can embrace and examine, embody and expand what's light and right for you without the risk of any kind of disempowerment or wrongness. So the being you are can never be broken. You're more aware than you know that you're aware, and you know more than you know. And you can begin now and change whatever it is you'd like to create in your life. And don't allow any situation to drag you down and keep you out from being the infinite, phenomenal gift, weapon, tool, and possibility that you be, which is to create a different reality for you, for your children, for the earth, and for the world going forward.
My gosh, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this energy and the message, and just you. This is great. I'm so glad that we got to connect again. This is so awesome.
Thank you for putting this together, and thank you for putting this topic together and this series together. I think it's going to be, and I know it's going to be, a great contribution to all beings that, care enough about themselves to take a listen. Yeah. So again, you matter, you exist, now roar. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you to the listeners for joining us and sharing this time with us and investing in you, because you're worth it. And until the next interview, I'll see you then. Bye.
Bye for now.